Hey HappiCrew, HappiDaze here. In today's video, we are doing my walkthrough of the Teams for Treasure map with the non-boosted teams for this TM event. So again, we have a friend, Captain Sabo, who we'll be using for these fights for the boss and the intrusion, but we don't have the koala or hack that's part of this batch, and we don't have a Captain Sabo for ourselves. So we did go through the teams the other day, just a couple quick programming notes of some changes. So for the intrusion team, just to make it a little bit more free-to-play friendly, I replaced the Garp that was on this team with the Boa, just to get rid of the defense on stage number 2. And basically I then replaced the Dragon with the Lindbergh, just so we still get the 4 Revolution Army tags, so we can trigger the additional benefits of the Sabo friend captain there, so it should make it a little bit more free-to-play friendly. And I did throw the cooldown Roger on the Lindbergh, just so that he's hopefully ready to go for that final stage. On the boss fight itself, we didn't really make too many changes here. We just added the cooldown support on the Sabo Koala at the top there, and some cooldown supports on the other Revolutionary Army units as well. And we want to make sure that we start with Carrot on this one, because we want to be able to super swap on stage on the stage where you get the hunger, which is stage 2, I believe. So that way you're able to basically get around that recovery debuff that's there with the slot, the super switch will give you the recovery slot, so you don't have to worry about finding potential abilities or anything like that to remove the hunger. It just makes it really easy. And again, same thing for here. Just start with Nami on the Intrusion Boss as well. That will just get you in the best position. And this is the team that we're using for the Crocodile fight, where in essence, to get rid of the special bind, we're going to go ahead and use the Roger Legvon V2. They, as a crewmate, have the ability to reverse or ignore special bind, and they can get rid of 10 turns, which will make it pretty simple to get through that debuff for that stage. And then last, we have the Atlas unit here to help get rid of the Rainbow Shield that's there. You'll be able to actually use your super class as well. So we just have tons of damage on this team. No real worries there. This team hasn't changed at all, just because this is the everyone should have the Mihawk and the Boa, so we didn't really change this team at all. Like I said, you could just change any of the other units outside the Mihawk and Boa with just whoever has strength, and you'll be good to go on that one. And again, we didn't change. We did change the Coby and Alvida one just a little bit. So before we had the Ivankov and the Kuma and Ginny units, so we just changed it to be a little more free-to-play friendly. So to get rid of the Despair on the final stage, we have the Robin here to get rid of 5 turns, and then Luffy with his support ability there will get rid of 2 more for 7 out of the 9, so that's perfect. With sockets will be good. To get the good slots there, we have the Nami and Karina. We'll just swap them and they'll get that for us. That'll be pretty awesome, pretty good. And then to get rid of the burn, we have the Green Bull there on the right-hand side there. Morley's just a booster, and he happens to be Dex, so that's just why we threw him on that team. And lastly, this team hasn't changed at all. Same exact team that you saw yesterday. So yeah, with that being said, let's get into the treasure map run, show you how this team works. So I do think that this TM is going to be pretty difficult unless you satisfy that Revolutionary Army condition. But unfortunately, the downside of the tagging system for this event is that there's a lot of units that don't have that Revolutionary Army tag yet. So it's really tough to build teams. There's just not a ton of units or a ton of options if you want to be able to satisfy that condition there. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. So let's just go ahead and just keep trucking along. We should be able to hopefully fight the invasion boss right here. If it ever decides to load. Alright, so let's go ahead and choose the boosted captain. That way we can go ahead and get the Sabo there. Perfect. Alright, so just a quick recap. On stage 2, we're going to end up using the Boa special and the Carrot special. That will help us get rid of all the nasty slot stuff. We don't have to worry about the chain stuff, because as you can see, we've got the chain addition there, so that makes it a little bit nicer. We don't actually have to stall here, which is even better. So we'll just go ahead and tap and just get through stage 1. Of course, if you had to, you could stall on the turtles, but because we have all boosted units here, we don't really have to worry about that. As I mentioned, on stage 2, we're going to go ahead and use the Boa special to get rid of the blue shield there, and then we're going to do a swap, and then the Nami and Carrot special to get rid of the block orbs. The benefit to this, to doing the super switch on this stage as well, is you also get a resistance as well, so it just makes it a little bit better. That 30% reduction from type slots that you kind of get a little bit of that back, which is awesome. You love to see that. You do have to hit with 2 deck slots first, so we're just going to go ahead and do that, just so we can go ahead and break the barrier pretty easily. You can see tons of damage. We're not going to have any problem kind of getting through that. And then on stage 3, we're pretty much using everyone else's special. Again, we have the support Mihawk on the Nami and Carrot to help get rid of their resilience, so we don't have to worry about that debuff. Yeah, so at this point, it's really just using everyone's special to get through it. So we use the Sabo special super type. We'll go ahead and use the Morley Karatsu, Lindbergh, and then Koala last. So you can see, like, we have plenty of buffs on our side. We shouldn't have any problem getting through the content. You can see I'm just going to stop tapping there so we can get the death hit from Mihawk. And boom, just like that, we're through the intrusion battle. So as I mentioned, this team was pretty easy to build, even if you didn't have that Garp or the Dragon. If you do, it'll just make it that much easier. So don't fret if you don't have them. This team that you just saw here will get through that without any problems at all and help you get through. So at this point, really, it's pretty much GG's. None of the mini bosses are really too crazy this event, which is good. So it's really just the main intrusion boss that we have to worry about, and the biggest thing from there that we have to worry about really was just getting rid of that hunger debuff. We were able to get rid of that with the swap of the Nami and Carrot unit, so we're pretty good there. I wish there was a way that you could just skip all these chop from hand requests really quickly when you first get it. Apologies for that. I know it's probably a pain watching me click through this, but I just want to show you that these teams would work, and you could use these as kind of free-to-play teams. You gotta hate it when you end up getting a reduction of moves, and it's right before the boss. Feels like a waste of stamina, but hey, it is what it is. Alright, so this is the Alvida and Coby fight. Again, what I'm pretty much going to do is just have them both start in the Nami phase, and then have them swap into the Karina. That way we don't have type advantage for the captains there. So I'm going to change the boost effects to just be the same character, so we can just keep the right people there. They are rainbow captains, so you don't have to worry about anyone underneath, which is why we didn't really focus too much on synergy. So just keep that in mind. Luffy special won't be ready to go. Don't worry about it. So yeah, we're not using Luffy for his special here. So we're just using him so we can do that support on to get rid of the despair. So totally don't even have to worry about that. Again, we're just going to quickly tap through. If you really wanted to, you could replace the Morley and Karatsu with Wave Clearer. That would probably make your runs a little bit quicker if you wanted to, while still allowing you to keep this team. So as mentioned, on the final stage here against Coby and Alvida, we'll go ahead and use the Robin special to get rid of 5 turns of Despair. Works perfectly. We'll use the Akainu special to go ahead and get rid of the Burn, even though it's really not a huge debuff. Like if you had to tap through the Burn, like, it's not a big deal. You could totally do that if you don't have a Burn remover. Not a problem at all. So there we go. We got the good slots, so we'll go ahead and use those. And boom, you can see, really easy, really simple. No problem to get through that boss, and you don't need any of the God Valley batch to go ahead and do that. So make quick work of Alvida and Coby, and we keep moving on. Now, just a quick programming note. So this is obviously my free-to-play teams. I will have another video out shortly after this, which will be my actual teams. So as I mentioned, I did pull the Sabo unit. I did pull the Koala unit, so I'll be doing some slight modifications to my teams to kind of incorporate them in, while still being able to maintain the tags that we're looking for to be able to get the chain buffs from the Sabo captain and friend captain ability there. Awesome. You'd love to see those gold cannons. I will 100% take that. And we just keep chugging along here. Almost done. Appreciate you guys staying with me while we get through this first run here. Alright, so 3 mini bosses left. For Teach, there's really nothing kind of too crazy. As long as you have the Luffy and the Sanji, like, you're good to go for this. There's nothing kind of too worrying or too crazy there. So let's just go ahead and get into that. Again, all our specials are charged, so we're literally just tapping through. You can use his Aura special, actually, to just do Wave Flare. It actually works out really well, and he's boosted because of the type advantage there. Probably should have saved it actually for this stage, just so I could have made the stage a little bit faster, but hey, it is what it is. So to get rid of the slot block there and the damage nullification, Sanji will do that as long as you have Luffy in your crew. So it makes it really easy to get through. And I'm not going to even bother with any other specials or anything on that. We'll just tap and get through that pretty quickly. So Blackbeard is probably, I would say, probably the easiest out of all the bosses of this TM. A mini boss, I should say, of this TM. Again, I apologize for all the missions. This was my first run. Alright, so for Doffy, we're using the Mihawk and Perona captain there. Like I said, everyone should have this captain from the PvP event that just transpired not long ago. So yeah, should be pretty easy to get through. Everyone should have that Boa as well. And then everyone else, like I said, is replaceable on this team. So don't worry if you don't have the Croc and Miss Sunday, Buggy, or the Rocks Pirates there. As long as you have basically a strength unit on there, you'll be golden. You'll have more than enough damage to get through and do what you need to do. Again, if you want to throw, there is a strength Zoro that has fixed damage. You can actually throw him on this team as well if you want to do wave clearing, just do a little bit faster run. That is always an option on here as well. So let's go ahead and, I forget the super swap of the Mihawk and Perona actually do. But we'll just go ahead and use it anyway, just to see what it does. Boa will go ahead and get rid of the increased defense, which is perfect. And boom, just like that, we get through without any problem. So of course the steam will last to the end of the event, not even worried at all about that. Alright, now we have one mini boss left, so let's just go ahead and hopefully get this pretty quickly, and then we'll get through the boss stage, hopefully without too many issues. For the next mini boss, we're taking on Croc and Miss Sunday. So this is the team that we're using. So obviously the key to this team is the Roger Rayleigh Gabon, who have the ability as a crewmate to avoid special bind and get rid of 10 turns. So that will help get rid of that. And then of course the Atlas unit here will help get rid of the Rainbow Shield. So with that, we'll be pretty good to go. So let's go ahead and just choose a friend Atlas captain here. Again, we don't have to stall, which is awesome. You love to see that. So we don't have a wave clearer on this team, but you know, you could always add a wave clearer in the spot of Blackbeard or Lin Lin, and you'll be fine. Even Stussy, you could replace her with a fixed damage shield to make it a little bit easier. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and use Roger Rayleigh Gabon special. Boom, that will help get rid of special bind for everyone. We'll go ahead and use the Atlas special. And then that's all you have to do to get through the Croc and Miss Sunday. Pretty easy to kill them, not really too much difficulty there. So that takes care of the 4 mini bosses. So let's go ahead and take on the main boss of this intrusion and wrap up these free-to-play teams that we've been reviewing. So the tricky part about the boss battle is you do have to deal with the fear. So luckily the potential ability of the friend Captain Sabo should help take care of that for us, so we won't have to really worry too much about that. So let's just choose this guy, for example. In stage 2, you have to get rid of the hunger, so we have the switch effect of the carrot and Nami to help give us a recovery orb to get through that. You do have to use the swap of the Sabo and Koala to get rid of the special bind, and then use your special to get it rid on the rest of the group. And then lastly, you use the Lucci on stage 2 to get rid of the attack down. So the charge gauge will not fully... actually, it does fully charge her burst gauge. Okay, so I wasn't sure if it actually fully charged Sabo Koala's burst gauge, but it looks like it does. Again, not really a big deal. They only have to be able to get rid of it on themselves anyway to use their special. So yeah, there we go. We're going to go ahead and swap the Sabo Koala, get rid of that special bind on themselves, and then use the actual special to be able to get rid of special bind on the rest of the group. Go ahead and just swap the Nami carrot so we get the recovery orb in that slot, though as you can see we have plenty of recovery orbs, we wouldn't have even had to worry about that. And then lastly, the Lucci unit there will go ahead and allow us to get rid of that nasty attack down. Boom, one shot, done. Don't really have to worry too much. And then stage 3 is really simple to get through. Again, the only thing you have to really deal with is the bind. We have the carrot and the Nami unit to help get rid of that bind, so we don't really have to worry about it too much. So let's go ahead and use that special. You do have to get rid of 3 turns of Rainbow Shield and Defense Up. So Bella Buddy will get rid of the Rainbow Shield. We have the support of the Niihawk on that carrot unit to get rid of the Defense Up on that last stage, which is awesome. And then at that point, you can pretty much just use specials of everyone else. As you can see, we'll have more than enough damage. We get the Dex territory. Makes it pretty straightforward to go ahead and kill the boss and wrap up the series of battles. So there you go. That's our free-to-play walkthrough. I just want to show you guys that team we built the other day. It did work. Again, we made some of these teams a little more free-to-play friendly than we had for the last video when we did the theory crafting of this team. But as you can see, it works out pretty well. No real issues, gets us through, and just helps really get through a bunch of this content here. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I'll have another one out a little bit later today with my teams. There'll be a lot more pay-to-play than the free-to-play teams that you see here, so just stay tuned for that. As always, let me know how your TM grind is going. Hopefully it's going well. And always, until next time, be kind to each other. Thanks.